Okay, so in this video we are gonna take a look at C# and SFML and just get some basics up, so creating a window and just some basic movement. So first of all, open Visual Studio and create a new project. You wanna create a console app or an empty project, doesn't really matter. C# obviously. Click next and give it a name. For example, SFML tutorial. Yeah. Now, I like to not use top-level statements. I would recommend having the main function. So just enable this. I think it's not enabled by default. And for the framework, doesn't really matter. But I like to use the newest one. And then create. Now just wait a second. And now you have in this. If you run this, it should just write hello world to the console. Yeah. First of all, to get rid of one of those, one of the tabs, just put a semicolon here. And now we need to add SFML. To do this, go to Tools and NuGet Package Manager and manage NuGet packages for solution. Now you go to Browse and you search for SFML. Then the first one, sfml.net by, I don't know what is exploiter. Click SFML tutorial, so just your project and the latest stable one and install. Now you do apply and it says finished, so everything should have worked. Now if you go back to your program, you can do using statements, so you want to use SFML. Good, it shows up. Yeah, graphics, system and window. Yes, here you go. So now we can get rid of this. So first of all, how do we actually get a window? And by the way, we don't need arguments. What you do in SFML is you need a render window. You can just call it window and then you make a new, no, not new render window, and you pass some arguments. So we need a video mode, which has a size, so how wide and how the height and the width of the screen, of the window, and then you give it a title. Title is fine. I'm gonna increase the size a bit though. There you go. And so for everyone, the window frame rate is same. Just put window set frame rate limit to 60. We are not gonna need more than 60 FPS probably. So just add this, otherwise you're gonna have like thousands of FPS and it's gonna be not that nice. So if we start this, we should have a window running, but as you can see, it closes instantly. So what we wanna do is we make a while loop while, yes, window is open. So basically, while the window is open, so this window is open, it's gonna run this loop. The first thing it's gonna do is it's gonna dispatch the events. So if you like press a key on your keyboard or a mouse, anything like any event, then it's gonna clear the screen with a color you want. You can also put green. Actually, what colors are available? Transparent. Let's try this one. And then it's gonna display. So display is basically you put all your drawing stuff in here, and then it's gonna display everything you put here. So if we now run this, we should see a window staying open. Okay, I don't know. Transparent is black for some reason, I'm not sure. As you can see, if we try to close it, it doesn't work. Resizing works, but closing doesn't work. Pressing escape to close it doesn't work either. So to do this, using C#, what you wanna do is you want to basically like access window events, or you wanna subscribe to them. What you do is window, and now, yeah, you can see here these things are events. So this one, we wanna subscribe to it by new plus equal. This we don't actually need this. This is the sender's gonna be the window, and this is just gonna be arguments, for example, like the key. If we want, if we press like W, this is gonna be like the key. This I'm gonna delete this. Basically, it's gonna take the sender and cast it to the render window and close it. But we only have our one window, so we can just write window and close. If we now start this, as you can see, if we press here, it's gonna close. And we also wanna close it via escape. So we do window, not resized, but we can just do pressed, and now key pressed. Now, as you can see, we can subscribe to it, the sender and the arguments, and now we have a if statement, and as I said here, we can print this out. Here is gonna contain some stuff about the thing that got pressed. So if we run this, wait, it's actually, yeah, but we can see it here. So it's key event args, and the code which we are accessing is escape, so the key, I don't know. Alt is just if you are pressing Alt or Control or Shift. System, I'm not sure. But yeah, what this does is it checks the code. If the code is escape, and then it just closes the window again. Yeah, so we have some basic Windows stuff done. I'm gonna change this back to black. I'm not sure transparent. This works as well, I guess. But yeah, now we want to actually draw something to the screen. So what we are gonna do is, let's draw maybe, I don't know, what do we want to draw? Maybe draw just a rectangle for now. A rectangle is a rectangle shape. We can just call it a rectangle, and then we just create a new rectangle shape. And if we look at the arguments, okay, you can just create a argument without, you can just create a rectangle shape without any arguments. But if we, okay, but what we need to do is, or what we want to do is, we want to give it some arguments. So for example, here you can see all the stuff we can set. The scale, the size, the fill color, outline thickness, position, rotation, and a texture. We care about the size. Size is also in SFML it's vector 2f, or like vector 2 and then the what it is if it's like a float or an int, but we need floats here. And then we just pass in a size, maybe like 100 by 150. Then we also want, don't forget the comma, we want a fill color maybe, which we're just gonna do color dot red. And lastly, position, again a vector 2f. We are just gonna do like 200 by 100. And yeah, now we have this rectangle, and we draw this by just going in here. So after the screen is cleared, And before the stuff is displayed, we do window.draw, and now it's supposed to draw the rectangle. If we run this now, we should see a rectangle, yeah, a red rectangle. This 200 is 100 pixels, and this is 200 by 150, and yeah, this is resizable as well. Yeah. So now let's maybe add another thing. How about a circle shape? Maybe let's just call it layer because we are gonna control it via movement. And let's just take this 50, make it blue actually. Let's put it like in the middle, so 600 and 400. And let's draw this after. And let's run it again. Okay, it's not really in the middle. 500 and 300. Almost. Because like this is 500 and 300, but it gets drawn. No, actually, wait, does it? No, this is 500 and 300, so 600. I'm not sure, to be honest. We have. Let's do 550 and 350. This should be right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the resizing is because the width and the height doesn't match like if it's full screen. So now what we wanna do is add some movement. For this, we first of all need some kind of speed. So we can just make a const float. Yeah, player speed's fine. 5 is too low though. Let's maybe make like 200. What's it say? Well, yeah. And what we need to do is we want like delta time. You might notice if you've developed games before, it's basically time that doesn't really, it's not important how many frames you have, you know, it's like the same always for everyone. For this, just add a clock. Just make a new clock. Then after dispatchments, get the delta time. Yeah, we wanna restart the clock always after every frame, and get the seconds. Yeah. Now let's maybe put a drawing together. Here we are gonna do the input. So let's start with a vector to f again. The direction, which is set to 0, 0, and then if the keyboard dot is key pressed, and then the key W, our direction y should be -1. Normally you would think it's like 1, but you have to like reverse it. And you just do the same thing for WASD. It auto completes it for me. Okay. There you go. But yeah, just W it's y -1, S is +1, A is x -1, and D is +1. So now, actually let's have it like this for now. So let's go player, which is our circle, dot position is supposed to be the direction, also plus equal our direction times the player speed times delta time. Now we clear the screen, we draw everything, and we play it. If we run this, now you can move. And if you go in front of the rectangle, this shows first, and this shows in front. If we were to reverse the order, the rectangle should be, yeah, now the rectangle is in front of the player. Oops. So let's get this back. And let's start this again. Maybe you notice something. Look at the speed if I go just up or down or just left and right. But look if I press W and D, for example. This is much faster, you see? This is much faster. It's because it goes basically two, so it goes one up and one right. And otherwise it just goes one. So again, if you did some game dev, you know that we have to normalize the movement. We can do this by, like, it doesn't have a built-in function, but we just do this by checking if the direction, yeah, okay, it just gives it to me. Basically we check if X is not null or if Y is not null, and if any of those are not null, then it does the square root of X times X plus Y times Y, and then the direction minus that, not minus, divided. So if you want, we can log this so you see what happens. Length and console.right line the direction, and then we just add this. If we now run this again, look at here. So now you can see it's X is 0 and Y is -1 because we press W. So it's 1. Press S, it's again the same. If I press D, it's X and 0, but it's always 1. If I now press W and D, you can see it's like, you know, so now as you can see it's like the correct speed. Yeah. So now we have better movement, and yeah, I think this is pretty much it for this tutorial. Yeah, one thing we can do is we can console.log a console.writeline the length of time, just so you can see how fast everything is going. Yeah, it's like each frame is 0, and that's 0.1 seconds, like 0.015 about. If we were to not use delta time, we can try this. If we don't use delta time and we run this, you can see how fast this is. Let's maybe put this even like to only 2, but you will again see it's like really fast. Okay, now it's actually not too fast, but now it like depends on how fast your PC is. So if you have a really fast PC, your movement is gonna be much faster than someone with a slow PC. So yeah, that's it.